I need to tell you what happened in that elevator before I lose the nerve, before the memory eats through what's left of my sanity, like acid through flesh. It was supposed to be a simple after-hours maintenance check, nothing more. I'm a building inspector, been doing this for 12 years, and the Meridian General Medical Center was just another job on my schedule. The place had been abandoned for 3 years. After some malpractice scandal shut it down. The city wanted to know if the structure was salvageable before demolition crews moved in. Standard procedure. I've walked through dozens of dead buildings. This one should have been no different. I arrived at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday in October. The sun had already set, leaving the 7-story structure silhouetted against a bruised sky. The building looked tired, windows dark like dead eyes. The parking lot cracked and overgrown with weeds pushing through the asphalt like fingers clawing up from underground. I grabbed my flashlight and clipboard from the passenger seat and made my way to the main entrance. The front doors were chained but unlocked, the padlock hanging open like someone had been there recently. That should have been my first warning. I made a note on my clipboard and pushed through, the chains rattling behind me. The lobby smelled wrong, not just old or musty, something organic and rotten underneath the dust, like meat left too long in a warm place. My footsteps echoed across the cracked tile floor. Reception desk covered in a layer of grime, chairs overturned, papers scattered everywhere, yellowed and brittle. I swept my flashlight across the space. Everything looked picked over, stripped. The elevator banks were straight ahead, 4 doors side by side. 3 had out-of-order signs taped across them, the paper curled and faded. The 4th elevator had no sign. I know what you're thinking. Why would I take an elevator in an abandoned building with no power? I'm not stupid, but here's the thing. My checklist required me to inspect the elevator shafts from multiple floors. Taking the stairs would mean manually prying open doors at each level, a process that could take hours. The building still had emergency power. I could see the dim red lights glowing above the stairwell doors. Emergency systems meant the elevators might still have basic functionality. At least that's what I told myself. I pressed the call button, didn't expect anything, but somewhere above me, machinery groaned to life, ancient and reluctant. The sound of it made my teeth ache, metal on metal, grinding and squealing. I watched the floor indicator above the elevator, numbers lighting up in sequence as it descended. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The dance door line shuddered open with a pneumatic hiss that sounded almost like a sigh. The interior was smaller than I expected, maybe 6 feet by 6 feet. The walls were covered in that industrial padding you see in hospital elevators, once white but now the color of old teeth. The fluorescent light inside flickered weakly, casting everything in a sickly yellow glow that pulsed like a dying heartbeat. I stepped inside. The floor felt soft under my boots, not spongy exactly, but yielding in a way that elevator floors shouldn't feel. I pressed the button for the 7th floor. Nothing happened. I pressed it again. Still nothing. I tried the 6th floor button. The doors closed immediately. The elevator lurched upward so violently I stumbled against the back wall. My clipboard clattered to the floor. The light flickered faster now, almost strobing. I could feel a cable pulling us up, the counterweight dropping, normal elevator sounds. But there was something underneath, a wet sound, like someone breathing through fluid-filled lungs. The floor indicator climbed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it stopped. We hung there for maybe 10 seconds. The light went solid, steady. I let out a breath that I didn't know I was holding and reached for the door open button. Before my finger touched it, the elevator dropped. Not fell, dropped, like something had cut the cable. My stomach jumped into my throat and I slammed against the ceiling, the impact driving the air from my lungs. Just as quickly, we stopped. The deceleration crushed me back to the floor. I tasted copper, blood from where I'd bitten my tongue. The floor indicator read 5. I pressed the door open button. Nothing. I pressed it again and again, jabbing at it with my thumb until the plastic cracked. The elevator didn't respond. I tried the emergency phone. Dead. No dial tone, just static that sounded almost like whispering if she listened close enough. Okay, I said out loud. My voice sounded small in that padded box. Okay. Emergency services will notice. Someone will come. The elevator dropped again. Smooth this time. Controlled. The floor indicator counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We reached the ground floor and kept going. The indicator cycled past 1 to a symbol I didn't recognize. Then it changed. -1. The elevator descended into basement levels that shouldn't exist. Meridian General was built on a concrete slab. No basement. No sublevels. I'd reviewed the architectural plans myself. -2. The temperature started to rise. At first, I thought maybe it was just me. Panic does things to your body. But no. The air was warming. I could feel it against my face, like standing near an oven. I loosened my collar. -3. It was definitely getting hotter and more humid. The air felt thick, dense. Each breath took effort. The padding on the walls looked wet now. Dark patches spreading across the material like sweat stains. I touched one. My fingers came away slick and warm. -4. My shirt was soaked through. Sweat ran into my eyes. The heat was oppressive now, tropical. The fluorescent light buzzed louder. The wet breathing sound grew louder too. I realized it was coming from the walls, from the padding itself, rising and falling. Inhale, exhale. I looked down at my arms. Something was wrong with my skin. The flesh looked swollen, tight, shiny, like it was being inflated from the inside. I watched in horror as small bubbles began to form along my forearms. Tiny blisters rising up under the surface. They grew as I stared. Marvel-sized, golf ball-sized. The skin stretched translucent and I could see fluid moving underneath. It didn't hurt. That was the worst part. It should have hurt. -5. The elevator walls were definitely closer now. The car was shrinking. I could reach out and touch both sides without fully extending my arms. The padding pressed inward, bulging as if something was pushing from the other side. And then I saw them. The doors reversed. Just an inch, just enough to adjust their grip. Then they continued closing. Lower now, across my pelvis. I heard my hip bones crack, felt my intestines being pushed up into my chest cavity. The pressure was incredible. My eyes felt like they were going to burst from my skull. My vision went red, then purple, then a gray shot through with sparks, and then I felt it. The pulling, not from the elevator, from the corridor, from the walls, from all those fused bodies. They were pulling me toward them, drawing me in. My legs were already part of them. I could feel the sensation traveling up my body, my tissues breaking down, becoming fluid, flowing into the mass, becoming one with all those others. The faces closest to me opened their mouths wide, wider than mouths should open, and I could see past their teeth, down their throats, into the communal cavity they all shared. It pulsed with wet red light, 1,000 hearts beating in unison. The sound of it was deafening and comforting. It promised an end to isolation, an end to being separate and alone and fragile. It promised unity forever. My spine separated somewhere around the 4th lumbar vertebrae. I didn't lose consciousness. I should have, but I didn't. I felt everything, every nerve ending firing, every cell converting, every molecule of what I used to be joining with what they were. The elevator doors released what remained of my upper body and I slithered forward. No legs, no pelvis, just torso and arms and head being pulled into the corridor by 1,000 gentle hands. They found a space for me, between a woman whose eyes had fused shut and a man whose lower jaw had merged with someone else's shoulder blade. They pressed me into the wall, my back, my sides, my arms spreading and flattening, becoming part of the surface. I felt my chest cavity open and connect with the cavities beside me. Felt my heart begin to beat in time with all the others. Felt my lungs fill and empty with their shared breath. My face pressed into the mass. The flesh accepted me, enveloped me. My cheeks spread across the surface. My nose flattened. My mouth opened wide and stayed open, forever open. I could feel the corridor extending in both directions, miles of it. All of us, all together, all aware, all suffering and comforting in equal measure. I can still see, sort of, through the darkness. I can see when someone new comes. It doesn't happen often. Years pass between arrivals, but when the elevator brings someone, I can feel the excitement ripple through the mass. Feel all the mouths begin their whispers. Join us. Come us. I'm part of those whispers now. I know where I am, in the spaces between, in the foundation beneath consciousness, in the substrate that underlies reality, where the price, the toll, the cost of keeping the world above stable and whole. Buildings don't stand on concrete and steel, they stand on us, on the forgotten, the lost, the ones who descend and never return, where the foundation of everything can we're awake and we feel every footstep as everyone walking above us, forever. The elevator still runs. I can hear it through the walls of my body, grinding and squealing, moving up and down in its shaft, taking people to their floors. Sometimes at night when the building is empty, it goes down, past the lobby, into the negatives. The doors open and we whisper. We whisper and we wait. I can feel someone coming now. The elevator is descending. The numbers are counting down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faces. Impressions of human faces in the padding, dozens of them. Noses and mouths and the curves of cheeks pressing out from inside the walls. Their mouths were open, all of them, open in silent screams, or maybe they were trying to breathe. The padding swelled with each breath, the faces becoming more defined. I could see teeth through stretched material, eyes behind closed lids. One of the blisters on my arm burst. No pain, just a warm wetness running down to my elbow. The skin beneath looked cooked, red and weeping. More blisters rose to replace it. My legs, my chest, my neck, everywhere. I looked down at my hands and watched the skin bubble and split, wellers peeling away like phyllo dough. -6. The walls touched my shoulders now, the faces pressed against me. I could feel them through my dissolving clothes, warm and soft. The mouths moved, opening and closing against my arms, my back, my legs, not biting, kissing, sucking, drawing pieces of me into them. The wet breathing surrounded me completely now, a chorus of drowning lungs. I tried to scream, but my throat was full of fluid. I coughed and something thick and dark sprayed across the elevator wall. A chunk of tissue. The faces closest to it absorbed the matter eagerly, the mouths widening. -7. I was being compressed. The elevator had shrunk to the size of a coffin. I couldn't move. The faces were everywhere, pressed against every inch of me. I could feel them in places no one should ever feel anything. Inside. They were inside me somehow, mouths working beneath my skin, taking me apart, cell by cell, converting me, incorporating me. The bubbling and spread to my face. I could feel my cheeks inflating, my lips splitting, my eyes bulging in their sockets. The pressure built and built. I looked at the floor indicator through vision that was starting to gray at the edges. -8. And then we stopped. The sudden absence of motion was worse than the descent. Silence except for the breathing. Except it wasn't silent. Now I could hear what the mouths were saying, whispering through the padding through me, words in the language that hurt to comprehend. Not warnings, invitations. Come deeper, stay here, join us, come us, feed us. The elevator doors opened with that same pneumatic hiss. What lay beyond was impossible. A corridor stretching the darkness, but the walls weren't walls. They were people. Hundreds of people. Thousands fused together into a continuous surface of human flesh. They lined the hallway on all sides, ceiling, floor, walls, all of them. Bodies merged and melted into one another. An arm protruding here, a leg there, faces everywhere, scattered across the mass like tiles in a mosaic. Men, women, children, old, young, all races, all ages, all pressed together into a single living structure, and they were alive. I could see chests rising and falling with shared breath, eyes tracking movement, mouths opening and closing. Some of them are trying to talk, individual words bubbling up from 100 different throats, overlapping and echoing. Help, please, God, no, stop. Hungry, cold, pain, mother. But mostly they just whispered that invitation. Join us, become us. The sound washed over me like a wave of warm water. The elevator gave me no choice. The faces behind me pushed. Not violently, gently, almost lovingly, urging me forward. I tried to resist, but my legs didn't work anymore. The muscles had turned to something else, something softer. My bones felt hollow. I stumbled out into the corridor. My feet squelched on the floor that was made of compressed human tissue, living meat that yielded under my weight and then gripped, holding me in place. The bodies along the walls reached for me with whatever limbs they could move. Fingers like worms, arms that bent in too many directions. The elevator doors began to close behind me. I don't know what made me turn. Some survival instinct buried so deep it survived even the dissolution of rational thought. I lunged backward, throwing what remained of my body weight toward the closing gap. For a moment I thought I might make it. My upper body cleared the threshold. My arms, my chest, the doors closed on my legs. Not quickly, not like a guillotine. Slowly, deliberately, with enormous pressure. I felt my shins compress, then crack. The bones didn't break clean. They splintered, shattered into fragments that ground together as the doors continued their inexorable closure. My kneecaps popped like bubble wrap. The flesh of my thighs bulged around the crushing edges, splitting open, spilling out. I screamed, or tried to, but my lungs were full of something warm and thick. I vomited it across the elevator floor, dark red, almost black, pieces of myself floating in it. -1. My mouth moves with all the others. The words bubble up from our shared throat. Join us, come us. In the loneliness, there's always room. The corridor has no end. It grows with each addition, stretching deeper and deeper into the foundation of the world. -2. I try to warn them. I really do. But the warning and the invitation are the same. The truth is both. Come, stay. You'll never leave, but you'll never be alone. You'll suffer, but you'll belong. You'll lose yourself, but you'll become more than yourself. You'll be conscious, forever conscious, forever aware, forever part of the structure that holds everything up. -3. The heat is building. I can feel it radiating from me now, from all of us. Our collective body temperature warming the air in the shaft. The breathing grows faster, excited, hungry, not for food, for company, for communion, for another voice in the eternal conversation. The elevator approaches, the doors are opening. I can see through someone else's eyes, a woman, young, terrified. Her skin is starting to bubble. She's looking at the corridor, at me. I can see my own face staring back, mouth open, eyes tracking her movement, my lips forming the words, "Help me." But I don't mean it. Not anymore. Help means being alone again. Help means going back to the separation, to the cold, to the silence. I don't want help. None of us want help. We want her. We want everyone. We want the whole world to descend and join and become the foundation, to finally understand what holds everything together. She's screaming, but she's coming forward. The floor grips her feet. The walls reach for her. The elevator closes on her legs, and she reaches back desperately. But there's no escape. There's never been any escape. The corridor doesn't let go. The foundation must be fed. The structure must be maintained. The elevator must make its rounds. And somewhere above us, in the bright world of separate bodies and individual suffering, someone else is pressing a button. Someone else is watching the numbers light up as they descend. Someone else is about to discover that the building goes deeper than the blueprints show, that the foundation is alive, that the elevator knows where to take them. My mouth whispers with all the others, "Join us." And I mean it with every fused cell, with every shared heartbeat, with every merged nerve ending. Because the alternative is worse than this. Being alone is worse. Being separate is worse. Being one person dying one death is worse than being all of us dying forever. The elevator rises, empty now. The woman is part of the wall, part of us. Her consciousness merging with the collective, her memories becoming our memories, her pain adding to the sum of our pain, adding to the sum of her comfort. The equation always balances, the foundation always holds. I can still feel my body, what remains of it, spread across several feet of corridor wall. I can feel my fingers merge with someone's ribcage, my spine woven through 3 other spines, my face pressed between countless other faces, my mouth moving in unison with them all. We wait. The elevator descends again, always descending, past the numbered floors, into the negatives, beneath new material, new consciousness, new voices for the foundation. The structure grows, the corridor extends, the elevator runs, and I'm here. I'll always be here, part of the walls, part of the warning, part of the invitation, conscious, aware, forever feeling the weight of the world pressing down on us from above, forever whispering to whoever comes next, join us, become us. The elevator knows the way.